Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be discussing this image that I captured in my mindful photography video, and if you haven't yet seen it, I'll put a link up there and also in the description down below. But before I start talking about the image, I just wanted to thank everybody who's left a comment on that video. There was a lot of support there, and I've also had quite a few registrations on my website for people interested in the courses that I would be offering on mindful photography, or more my approach to photography. And there's been some really great comments and some really interesting points that people have made. So if you haven't read through them, then please do. You'll see some other people's thoughts on this kind of approach to photography, and it has been really interesting for me to read too. Secondly, I just had quite an exciting morning photographing some bluebells. I had a video out recently where I was planning a bluebell shoot, and a lot of people had guessed that's what the green plants were on the ground. And this morning I went out. I didn't make a video, but I may very well do in the future. But I have captured some images that I am quite pleased with, or at least they look good on the back of the camera. So yeah, sneak preview. Okay, so now to start talking about the image that I captured in that last video. I've been visiting this wood quite a few times recently, and it's a forestry commission site called Burnwood Forest. It's just on the Oxfordshire-Buckinghamshire border. A lot of it is plantation, but then I really like evergreen trees and the kind of atmosphere that you get underneath it. There's always very mossy, and the sunlight dapples through the small breaks in the canopy, and it just offers a bit of contrast and interest. And if you get there at the right time of day, then it's not too dark or too bright, it's just right. And on this day I had this perfectly soft light that came through, and it is only a small corner of this wood, probably only a few acres at the most. The wood is much bigger overall and has all kinds of different lots with different types of trees. But this particular corner just really kind of shone out to me. So the light that you can see coming through the back here is mainly because there's a great big open area which has some small birch trees and a bit of scrub. But the part of the wood that I'm standing in is very dark because of these evergreen trees that have just formed this almost impenetrable canopy above. And the light was just coming through onto this fallen tree here. Now, as a part of some of my previous videos where I've mentioned how to create an image or compose an image in woodland by telling a story, I mean, this told a story to me immediately when I saw the scene because of this fallen tree. And then you've got these other trees which appear to be looking toward it, and I used some of the branches of those trees to be almost like pointing towards, or like gesturing towards, as if they're sort of reaching their arm out towards it, to say, look here. Now I know that almost sounds silly to kind of put that kind of character upon some of these trees, but for me it really works and really helps in terms of telling the story as I take the image. Whether it comes across in the final image itself, I don't know, that's up to you. But yeah, I'm pleased with the image just because of the balance of light. I like how it's very dark over this side, but you can still see just some of the highlights of the trees of the low sun reaching through, and then it gets brighter and brighter as it goes across until you see this kind of light area. I also like the soft light on the green in the background. It just really makes that corner glow, and it actually helps to frame and highlight the fallen tree here. But in terms of things that I would change about this image, or things that I would do differently next time, there isn't a great deal actually, just because I like the image as a whole. I'm not saying it's a perfect image, but for me, I like it as it is. There are one or two things that as I've gotten more used to looking at it and seeing it, that I've noticed that I think I would like to do differently next time, but other than that, not really. I suppose if I was pushed, there's just this corner in the foreground which there isn't a great deal going on in there. I would perhaps like it to be a bit more mossier, or there's some broken, rotten wood that's kind of gathered there. I would consider perhaps cloning that out and making it just more of even spread of moss. But it'd be interesting to hear what people's thoughts are in terms of using the clone stamping images. Personally, if it's removing a distracting element, one that I hadn't really seen at the time or that hadn't really registered as part of that scene for me at the time, then I want to represent this image in the way that I saw it. And if I hadn't noticed these little bits of wood, so in this instance I think I would be quite happy to clone it out. But yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments below of what you think about cloning things out. I know that on the whole, most people were very set against adding things into images, and so am I. I think that if you're adding a tree or a focal point or something like that, then you need to go and retake the image, because you're pre-visualizing in doing that, and you can create the perfect image by going and doing it properly, if that makes sense. But that's it for this image for this week. But if you haven't yet let me know your thoughts on this image and you want to, then please feel free to add it in the comments below. Other than that, I will leave you now with just another little bit of news. I've recently got back from a trip to Ennerdale in the Lake District, and I have a few videos that will be coming up soon. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then.